I'm a survivor. I'm not gonna give up. I'm not gonna stop. I'm gonna work harder. I'm a survivor. I'm not gonna give up. I'm not gonna stop. I'm gonna work harder.
Good day everyone, I'm Jyoti Valangri here. Greetings to all, my name is Tanwi Ching.
Here we go again.
So, let me start by giving you some background information for our discussion today. As you may be aware, the COVID-19 pandemic has had such a significant influence on the household income and the economy of the country. There's no denying that the pandemic has worsened Malaysia's poverty. Poverty can be defined as a person who lacks a sufficient amount of money or material belongings in their daily life. Absolute poverty, hardcore poverty, and relative poverty are three categories of poverty that exist. If a household income is below the poverty line, PLI, and insufficient to satisfy basic requirements like food, water, clothing, and housing, it is considered to be in absolute poverty. It also includes not being able to pay for medical expenditure and not being able to provide a proper education for the children. Meanwhile, when a household income is less than the food PLI, it is considered as hardcore poverty. Relative poverty, on the other hand, is defined as a household income is less than half of the national median. Some people out there asking for food owing to extreme hunger. If this situation persists for a long time, it will lead to death. Poverty can be caused by a variety of factors. Pandemics are another factor that has contributed to the growth of poverty.
Okay, now let's move on to relevant data and analysis. Turning our attention now to data analysis of absolute, hardcore, and relative poverty in Malaysia from 2009 to 2020. From 2009 to 2014, the trend for absolute poverty was downward, but in 2016, it inclines to 7.6%, which is relatively high in comparison to prior years. In 2016, it plummets, and in 2020, the rate reaches an all-time high of 8.4%. Meanwhile, the rate of hardcore poverty has reduced from 2009 to 2014. The rate rose to 0.6 in 2016. In 2019, the rate fell to 0.4% before rising to 1% in 2020 and recorded at a peak point. From 2009 to 2014, the rate of relative poverty decreased. From 2016 to 2019, the rate has risen dramatically. The rate has gone down to 16.2% in 2020. In a nutshell, we can observe how the COVID-19 pandemic has affected the rate of poverty as well as the trend changes in all three forms of poverty. Now, let's have a look about the percentage of households experiencing decline in income. The majority of households saw their income fall and drop into lower income bracket in terms of household distribution. In the year 2020, the number of households with income less than 2,500 has increased by 12.5% and shifted to B1. As much as 20% of Group M40 households, which were earning between 4,850 and 10,959, has switched to B40 group. Households that are in the group of T20, in which 12.8% have shifted to M40 group due to COVID-19 pandemic. Next, based on the second graph income distribution, in 2020, the income distribution for B40 dropped to 15.9% from the previous year, which was 16%, while the income distribution for M40 dropped to 36.9% from the previous year, which was 37.2%. Simultaneously, Group T20 earned 47.2% in 2020 and 46.8% in 2019, an increase of 0.4% over the previous year. Okay, now let's talk about the percentage of household by household group transition and activity status of Head of Household Malaysia 2020. 88.5% of families led by paid employees, government and private, have moved from T20 to M40, with 74.2% of households led by paid employees. The M40 group has changed to B40. Simultaneously, 9.9% of households with a self-employed employee, head went to T20 to M40. In addition, the M40 category has shifted to B40 with 22.9% of self-employed individuals. 1.6% of people moved from T20 to M40, while 2.9% moved from M40 to B40 from other jobs. From this vantage point, we can see how COVID-19 pandemic has influenced people's job.
Thank you for Jewita's presentation. Now, I want to present about importance or seriousness of the issue. The COVID-19 pandemic has caused significant economic damage to households, business, and governments. Some companies have to shut down permanently because they cannot bear excessive expenditures and losses. Due to this situation, many people lost their jobs and become unemployed. It has negatively impacted on people's income and lead many families to hang white flags due to hunger. Unemployment rate in Malaysia become higher and economic growth is expected to decrease by 5%. Second, tourism industry, fisheries and aquaculture sector are greatly affected. It is because any cross-border tourism activities are prohibited. It resulted in tourism income reduction and decline in GDP. These sellers also cannot find buyers to buy their vegetables, fish, meats in large amount due to many restaurants and stores are closed. Third is in the close of manufacturing factories that will result in shortage in supply, inability to produce and transport product to other countries like China, and total export will decrease in Malaysia. Fourth, it also has an impact on banking and service. Many companies face insufficient to repay installment loan due to sales drop. Graduate college students cannot find the job to repay loan of PTPTN and lead government debt increase. Next slide is proposed initiative that implemented by government to reduce issue poverty due to pandemic. The background of project for year 2022 is on 29 October 2021. Budget 2022 was proposed in the Parliament by the Ministry of Finance, Tengku Zafrul bin Tengku Abdul Aziz. Several strategies have been implemented in the budget 2022 focusing on rakyat well-being. Restoring life and livelihoods is the first strategy in this focus area. Under this strategy, the government will continue to provide target direct cash assistance. The following slide is type of initiative and targeted population. Direct cash assistance and welfare is initiative that given by government. Government will implement the Bantuan Keluarga Malaysia BKM Cash Assistance Program. By year 2022, the BKM will provide 1,000 until 2,000 to households with 3 or more children who earn less than 2,500 per month. For households earning less than 5,000, cash at about 400 to 800 will be provided. In addition, government will grant an additional 500 in support to single-parent households with a monthly income less than 5,000. Senior citizen households earning less than 5,000 will receive an additional 300 in aid. This means that a single mother or father with 3 or more children is entitled for maximum of 2,500 in BKM. Overall, BKM is estimated to benefit more than 9.6 billion people. Bachelors with an annual income of less than 2,500 are able to get 350 ringgit. Bachelor older citizens earning less than 5,000 are eligible for an 600 financial assistance. The next slide is objective of initiative and suggested amount of budget. The objective of initiative is to guarantee that aid reach those who are actually in need while taking into consideration the greater cost of living. With a budget of 8.2 billion, a significant increase over the 8.6 billion people who receive 7 billion under the BPR. Last slide is conclusion. The COVID-19 pandemic has caused significant economic damage to households, business, and governments. Many people fell into this poverty problem because of company bankruptcy, getting fired, or cutting their salary. Meanwhile, traders need to take more steps comprehensive in changing business strategies over the period PKP, including improving business promotion and operation through online platform, mostly by utilizing ready-made system for product and service delivery administration to avoid serious business loss. The rakyat well-being is a top priority in Budget 2022. The initial strategy in this emphasis area is to restore life and livelihoods. The government will continue to provide target direct monetary assistance under this plan. Budget 2022 should inspire us all to cultivate the wonderful qualities of inclusivity, togetherness, and gratitude. That's all for our presentation. Thank you.
Thank you.